Gorr, the last of his tribe, spends his days with his daughter Love attempting to survive in a bleak desert. He begs his god Rapu for assistance, but Love perishes from starvation. Gorr discovers an oasis where he finds Rapu, who had murdered the latest wielder of an ancient weapon known as All Black the Necrosword, just as he begins to hear a voice calling out to him in the distance. Rapu mocks Gorr's helplessness and refuses to offer any assistance. Feeling betrayed, Gorr seizes the Necrosword and beheads him, vowing to wipe out all gods. Thor's adventures with the Guardians of the Galaxy continue, as he responds to distress calls across the universe while attempting to get back in shape. Thor, on the other hand, is dissatisfied with his current situation and plans to resign. There is an onslaught of distress calls about Gorr, one of which is from Sif, who has tracked him down. Thor and Korg reply to Sif's summons, splitting apart with the Guardians, who go to attend to the others. They come to a defeated Sif with her arms severed, who warns them that Gorr is about to invade New Asgard. Meanwhile, Dr. Jane Foster is undergoing chemotherapy for stage 4 cancer. Efforts to find a treatment fail, and she loses hope, but Foster is inspired to journey to New Asgard in the hopes that their magic can help erase the disease. Mjolnir is lured to her presence, fusing itself back together and imbuing her with the mighty Thor's powers because Thor unintentionally enchanted it to protect Foster while they were together. Gorr uses the Necrosword that night to overrun New Asgard with shadow demons. Thor, Korg, and Sif, as well as King Valkyrie and Foster, whom Thor is astonished to see, arrive to confront them. Despite repelling the monsters, Gorr escapes with Asgard's offspring, including Heimdall's son Axel. Thor talks with Axel and discovers that the children have entered the Shadow Realm. Knowing that Gorr's might would be at its highest there, Thor, Foster, Valkyrie, and Korg journey to Omnipotent City to warn Zeus of Gorr and request an army to aid in his struggle. Unconvinced that Gorr poses a threat to Omnipotent City, Zeus captures Thor, causing the others to intervene and repel Zeus' troops. During the fight, Zeus uses his thunderbolt to obliterate Korg's body, leaving only his face intact, which is enough for him to survive. Enraged, Thor impales Zeus in the chest with the thunderbolt, which Valkyrie grabs as the gang flees to fight Gorr in the Shadow Realm. Thor learns of Foster's cancer diagnosis on the road, and the two restart their romance. When they arrive, they try to find the youngsters only to discover that they have been duped. Gorr intended to steal Stormbreaker in order to use the Bifrost Bridge to access eternity, or he might wish for the gods' annihilation. They fight Gorr and his shadow monsters once more, but are forced to retreat back to New Asgard when Valkyrie and Foster are weakened. Gorr snatches Stormbreaker before it can be carried across the Bifrost. Thor is notified that Mjolnir's effects are worsening Foster's cancer, and he asks her to stay behind to recuperate. Valkyrie is likewise unable to continue fighting, handing over the thunderbolt to Thor so that he can face Gorr again. With Stormbreaker, Gorr begins to open Eternity's gate at the center of the universe. Thor appears and imbues the youngsters with Thor's might, giving them the strength to defeat the remaining shadow demons. Gorr gains an advantage over Thor. Foster, sensing his sadness, decides to use Mjolnir again despite her weakened state and join the fight. Thor gives Foster plenty of time to shatter the Necrosword with Mjolnir, dooming herself and Gorr. Thor recovers Stormbreaker and instructs the children to use it to return home, but they are unable to prevent Gorr from entering eternity. As he rushes to Foster's side, Thor screams out to Gorr and begs him to choose love over death. Their love reminded him of his daughter's love, so he decided to utilize his desire to resuscitate love. Foster succumbs to the cancer and passes into Valhalla. Thor agrees to Gorr's request to take care of love before he dies as a result of the Necrosword's curse. Following this, a statue of Foster as Thor the Mighty is constructed in New Asgard. Sif and Valkyrie begin teaching the youngsters in fighting, while Korg's body fully regenerates in order for him to have children. Thor begins to raise Love as his own daughter, entrusting her with Stormbreaker as he fights with Mjolnir. As Love and Thunder, they begin roaming the galaxy, offering assistance to anybody in need. A recovering Zeus sends his son Hercules to kill Thor in a mid-credits scene. In a post-credits sequence, Foster meets Heimdall, who welcomes her to Valhalla and thanks her for saving his son.